Thank you. We are a society obsessed with genitals. Penises and vaginas, we've just decided that's all we really need to get by in life, right? We don't really care if you're a homicidal lunatic, as long as we know whether or not you're a man or a woman. Apparently, life is just all about this masculinity and femininity. But is it really that simple? Are some people just doing a better job of it than others? I know some of you may not be ready to hear this, but your boyfriend does want to be pretty. And your girlfriend, she probably wants to be protective and powerful as well. Your boyfriend would like to act as interested as he actually is when you take him shopping. He's gonna sit on that little bench, the little bench for lost man friends. The guys know what I'm talking about. You sit there and you look disinterested, because we all know what would happen if you happen to see a cute blouse or a pretty dress or something. Your masculinity is going to be called into question. So you just sit, staring at your iPhone, pretending not to be interested. And, that's okay, right? What's wrong with that? We've divided things into male and female to make life simple, right? There's a list. There's a list of things you can and can't do. And that's good. And thank goodness we have media and ads to help us out, right? Anytime you see a cleaning ad, there's always a totally incompetent guy scrubbing helplessly at something caked onto a frying pan with a little bit of torn tissue paper, only to be saved by his cunning wife in all of her kitchen knowledge prowess. Men in ads, when it comes to anything domestic, are totally hopeless and incompetent. Until we get to trucks. Then we see nothing but powerful men, large, powerful men with appetites for adventure, which is why they need to careen around street corners, plowing through school children and old grannies at every available crosswalk. That is how you properly announce your masculinity to the world. Driving through the streets in a truck 6 feet off the ground that's capable of towing a city bus, and yet the back of the truck is always empty. But of course, it just makes sense for us to divide these things, right? It's just the natural order of the world. It dictates what we like and what we don't like. We can't just like the movies we want to like. Gentlemen, I have a scenario for you. Imagine you're going into the next boys' movie night kind of scenario. And everybody's talking about their favorite movies. And you come in and you say, you know what? I really love how utterly fabulous Audrey Hepburn is in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but I have some serious problems with the subservient role she plays in relation to men in the film. Some eyebrows might be raised. And it's not just movies, it's everything. We keep the list because it keeps us safe, right? No one's going to question us as long as we stick to the things we're supposed to like and the things we're not supposed to like. Girls like makeup, clothing, and emotions. Right? Boys like violence, sex, and probably more sex. We're obsessed with this difference, and we do it to each other. We torture each other through the English language, or any language we know. I need this from you. I need you to be this. Why can't you be more this? We like to be different, though, right? It's good. Makes us feel special. We like to be able to look at the other gender and go, ooh, oh, a woman. How mysterious, elegant, and goddess-like. I wish I could understand, but I never will. All the feminine secrets forever forbidden to me. A poor, hapless man. A friend recently put it to me this way. A girl may not have a problem being in a club. She sees a guy getting kind of aggressive, a little bit creepy, feeling some girl up, because boys will be boys, right? And in that context, it's just sort of expected behavior. We don't like it, but we'll put up with it. But that same girl could come home, find her boyfriend jamming out to I Whip My Hair Back and Forth in a pair of 5-inch stiletto heels, and some serious late-night questions might be had. But what's the dangerous behavior there? Arguably, the 5-inch heels, if he doesn't know what he's doing. But I think you get my drift. And I'm not just picking on women here. I mean, a guy would probably rather know that his girlfriend is out at a nightclub grinding upon some men Rather than know she's at home in his favorite flannel shirt fixing his car. And we know it's insane, right? We're all laughing and nodding and going, of course we know this. But we do it anyway. It's nice and warm in here. It's gender roles. Apparently all that matters to us about genders, lipstick, heels, Vogue, beer, sports, boys' nights out, girls' nights in. And it's little things too. I was listening to the radio a while ago, because people still do that. And I heard an ad for a contest. Win the ultimate man cave. Yeah, I have a real problem with man caves. As if life is so tough being a guy that you actually need to crawl back into some fantasy of a cave dwelling. Here's what's in this version of a man cave. First of all, a television so big your power company thinks you've started to grow up. A bar, because walking the 2 blocks to drink yourself into an early grave just got to be too much to handle. Loads of sports memorabilia, just in case you forgot you were a guy. You've got Yankees and White Sox crap to remind you. And, of course, one vintage symbol of female subservient sexuality. Usually she's bending over. I don't know why. She's maybe dropped something. But there she is. And maybe it's just the chesty girl on the can of your old Milwaukee, but she is there, keeping you safe. These nice little prepackaged genders. I mean, just the idea that somebody needs to design my man cave. Don't worry, lads, we've got a perfectly good, tried and tested masculinity waiting right here for you. You don't need to develop a dynamic or complex personality. You could just win a man cave and be done with it. Goody gumdrops! Ironically, the only people I know that would want this version of a man cave are all women. And it's everywhere. These gender roles, they follow us everywhere. Into the workplace, the bastion of gender equality. That's such a nice word, isn't it? Gender equality. It's great. I was in a workshop once, and if you've ever been in a workshop, you know they're really keen on breaking people up into very small groups to write on really big pieces of paper. And some of you were in that group. And the facilitator came to my group, and she was handing out pens so we could write on this really big piece of paper. And she held out 2 pink pens to my group. My group just so happened to all be men. And before any of us could react, she yanks back her arm and goes, "Oh, you guys don't want pink pens," and gives a green one and a blue one instead. And thank God, disaster was averted in that moment. No, you're laughing, but we were all in some serious danger of spontaneously sprouting vaginas because someone gave us pink pens. And we're looking at each other like, they're just pens. I mean, gender equality, if we can't use pink pens, people who want equal pay really have a mountain to climb. And while we're on the subject of pens, because that's why you all bought your tickets, yeah? Bic has solved the age-old question of what to do with pens. Finally, women no longer have to deal with the social anxiety or the learning curve associated with using men's pens all of these centuries. Bic has created a specialty line of pens just for women. They're lighter and in fashionable colors. Someone had to end the anarchy, right? Now, women can feel safe using pens that were specially designed for them. Because, of course, there was all the emergency rooms thronged with fainting maidens, their wrists in bandages, unable to cope with a man's pen. And, I mean, the pens did draw a lot of backlash, as they should. They're ridiculous. But what's the difference between pens for girls and clothing for girls? Why is one totally okay, it seems normal to us, and the other one completely ridiculous? It comes down to everything, even drinks, right? We can't just go to a bar and order the drink we want. Gentlemen, would you feel entirely comfortable going to your campus pub and ordering the sassiest cosmopolitan that money could buy? No! Again, people will laugh at you and throw things. Look, hey. I think that guy might be a woman. You can tell by the drink. So, gender roles are rubbish. I'm up here saying we should just wear dresses, smoke cigars, pat each other on the back, and build a utopic metropolis of gender bending. And don't get me wrong, I am saying that. But there's a practical step forward that will mean not necessarily throwing out everything about who you thought you were yet. And that's simply to ask ourselves, how do I know who I am? I'm not trying to mess you up too much before the coffee break, but how do I know? I can tell what you're all thinking about. How do I know I like these things? Do I really like them? Or is it truly me, or is it what I'm told I should like? We're a society that loves to be considered outlaws, revolutionaries, change makers, right? That's why we're all here. But it's scary. It's scary out there beyond the world of genitals. That's what's keeping us safe, keeping people from questioning us. You know, if we were to unmask the inner self and become whole and complete, beautiful human beings, searching for nothing but truth and light, we might whimper or explode. I don't know what happens, but we seem very afraid of the consequences. We idolize the quintessential men and women, the Jay-Z's, James Deans, Beyoncé's, Marilyn Monroe. These people, they're just towing the party line. They're keeping the status quo. These people aren't rebelling against anything. We do, however, in our infinite wisdom and our extreme self-confidence in who we are and our gender roles, like to make fun of people that come even close to transgressing as what we see the natural order of things. The outlaws, the heathens, the audacity of people who refuse to be defined by what is or isn't between their legs. Why can't they just do like everyone else does? Get away from my masculinity, it's fragile. Apparently, that's what self-confidence looks like to us. We want rebels that we can package and sell, not rebels that make us question ourselves. We hope everything just goes according to plan. Sit quietly, doing as you're told, hoping the red or the blue tie wins, that your taxes go down, that you get the next iPhone before everybody else, that someone will come along and say, hey, have you lost weight? And that you will win, and that you will win by buying stuff. Look, it's important. It's in my shopping basket. But what could we do? I don't know, what could we do? I mean, sure, we could explore. We could challenge ourselves to go beyond the narrow little definitions of these strict gender roles that we've created. We always talk about how boring the world is, how mundane things are. But what could be more unboring, more interesting, more truly rebellious than being the people that we want to be? We could go out and like the things that we like, we could do the things that we wanted to do, and we could become the people that we truly wanted to be. You're all perfect. Thank you very much.